swashbuckling. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Alrighty, so you guys just got into the Kingdom of Born. You guys are right on the edge of the border, and in front of you is a little ways away, is the city of Ivorydale. Now, Fenrir and I couldn't remember, but Nox, maybe you will. Did you guys visit Ivorydale?
Briefly.
Was that the one in the mountains?
No.
The
It was at the base of the mountains.
with the succubus?
No.
No, that was the Bronze Summit.
I remember going there. I remember we were in
didn't we? Yeah, we passed through before we went into the mountains.
Yes.
I'm sure that was the one with the succubus.
Okay, I think it was this place.
I thought it didn't have anything. Well, no, there's also the one on the right that we had to go through the mountains after taking a boat trip.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought we had to deal with that because the city was in lockdown and we weren't allowed through.
I think that's
I think that was another one.
Copperdale or Broadsworth, one of those two.
So many.
I think it's Copperdale.
I don't know. It was a long time ago. I kind of just
I
think
think
back.
it's fair.
I remember
we were trying to remember last time, but I couldn't remember and he couldn't remember concretely.
We went to the capital. We had to protect the one girl. We kind of failed. She was taken to the mountains. We went to the mountains, did whatever, and then we went back by going south. And we literally walked through Ivorydale and then back into the university.
Oh, it was on the way. Oh, that was it, because there was a link to... No, wait, definitely don't remember.
No, okay.
Bear in mind, there was a long period where I
if
wasn't
you did or not.
actually here.
That's fine with me. Okay. So, the rumor that you have to go on is in the capital. Are we going to pass through Ivorydale? Are you going to stay in there? Or are we going to just go around it?
We should ask questions. Any natural disasters? Unnatural disasters? Big news?
Yeah,
Any strange fellows that possibly came through. While people like to keep their head down, they usually pick up on weird fellows that shouldn't belong, usually.
Like ones who go around asking if any natural disasters have happened around here.
Precisely.
And he's just like deadpan looking at both of you.
Mason's just kind of like shrugging, like, look, I get it's a joke. It's more like the case of
We would have
just
found out about
considered wanderers.
Even if we were not given a town, simply asking around could have led us towards those murders.
Yeah, just go into the tavern, just go into an inn or a tavern, just see what the local gossip is. It shouldn't hurt too much. Plus,
Besides, Do we even stand out?
It's
I don't,
always
but,
worth staying one night to see if you hear anything of interest.
DM, does our person from the technological nation stand out?
referring
What
to
are you
Mason.
wearing right now?
Trench coats, pseudo cowboy hat, just kind of like, oh, actually no, I'd almost want to say like, you know those long inquisitor hats that kind of like very like more like shorter but like long tipped, something like that.
He would stand out
Underneath,
a bit,
Okay.
but not as much. He would. You look at him and you go, yeah. At like first glance, he'd probably just be recognized as a traveler and nothing more. He should
Okay.
be fine.
So probably at least as good as, at least better than Fenrir, who also is a human traveler, just has particularly strange clothes.
Mm-hmm.
and is like nearly a foot taller than Mason.
I
Are you like?
think he's almost as tall as Nox, and Nox is like 7 foot.
Yeah, so Mason's the shortest in the group,
I forget how tall you are, Mason. How tall are you again?
about 5'11".
Okay.
Okay, I'm not
You're
that
taller
much
than
taller
me in
than
real
that.
life. Jeez.
Like,
I mean, IRL, I'm 5'10", so
Damn.
okay, the. Okay, but to be fair, we do, especially with Nox's crystal, look like 3 humans.
Yes.
Maybe weirdly dressed humans that have strange habits and
tire.
expressions, but it's better than being an Aarakocra turtle and a demon. I don't know.
A more edgy version of Nox.
A less disguised version of Nox.
Yes.
Nox, you remember those days when you were an edgelord because you had no way to disguise yourself
Yep.
other than
You
a
know,
hood.
it's real sad that our world has such things against edgelords. Sometimes you just can't afford the disguises.
Alrighty. So, you guys go into the town. It takes about half day to reach the edge of the town and its borders. As you enter the town, you are greeted by a rather medium-sized shanty town outside of the walls of the city. Mostly
Do we get, like-
around are small shops, not really anything of too much interest. There's a lot of beggars on the street, who are kind of just going around their days, mostly commoners. Um, it's a little different than your normal slums, whereas normally all of the power and technology is within the inner city. All of these slums have steam power to them, have like heating through steam and stuff like that, as well as with the inner city as well.
What's with all the fire?
Seem they've developed their own technology.
Nox, this is completely familiar to you. Mason, you also, so both you and Nox would know that the Kingdom of Born's main source of wealth is through its various sources of ore mines. It is benefited in the fact that it has several mainline ores that are very expensive and needed for a lot of armies and a lot of other kingdoms. That being bronze, adamantine, and iron within the three large mountain regions that are within the borders.
This place got money.
Yeah, Mason
So-
just kind of gives like the
Yes.
bullet points of like basically what Bohr's like a system is with like coal mining, metalwork, and how basically they just kind of harness it better than most.
Yeah.
Fenrir seems somewhat interested, but then sees like random poor folk as we start like reaching some of the furthest reaches of the city, and it's like, why don't we ask someone out here? It's a little reason to wait.
Well, to be honest, friends, they can be good information, but sometimes you gotta, penny up some. As he just kind of like rubs his fingers, kind of like, you catch my meaning.
I
Sometimes
could give him my arrows. I'll just take some more.
I don't think we're on the same page here, friend.
Do you say this out loud whilst in this city walking around?
I mean,
I'm
we
more
were in
with-
like the absolute like furthest parts, like
Yeah, I thought we were
I
like
guess
on
there,
the
but, like,
outskirts approaching it.
where we are. Sure.
Okay.
More
I thought
whispering
you guys
it so
were walking
nobody
whilst
hears.
doing this. But whilst you're like on the edge, you see some faces turn towards you as you say that and kind of eye you for a minute and then turn back to what they're doing.
Yeah, Fenrir. Let's check with the inn first before we do that. A lot of looking eyes and some sharp daggers can like come our way sometimes with people like this.
Ah, okay. I could use some more of those.
As
You hear
like
an
Mason looks to
exasperated
knock.
sigh from Nox. Just kinda just shakes his head like. Just
What?
give up.
Yeah, Mason just looks to Knox like, does he not get what I'm trying to say right now?
I want to say that Nox and Fenrir, just through like random travels beforehand, probably in the Uncharted lands, Fenrir Fenrir mentioned that his fighting style involves taking other people's weapons.
And adding
Is-
them to your own collection.
Well, like he just like he's used to like, oh, you have one weapon that can hurt me, and so his fighting style is around taking it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, before
yeah, so Nox at least gets that information. So he's like, oh yes, I could throw this weapon away. I'll just steal more.
So, if you guys don't mind me asking, once our overall journey comes to an end, what are you two gonna be doing afterwards?
I'm not entirely
Fenrir
sure
just
I
looks
can
at Nox
decide.
like weirded out by a question that he's never considered before.
I'm going to say you're walking to the main gate as you're discussing this.
I mean,
quite-
like, look, fellows, I'll be honest, this ain't me trying to, like, be nosy about things. It's just, like, normal casual talk. It's like, have you considered, like, what comes after our big hoopra, or our big mission? Like,
I was
To be
very
honest, I
content.
was hoping there was an after.
Wait, repeat that one more time?
To be honest, I was hoping there was an after.
Okay. I thought you were like planning on killing yourself. I was like, wait a minute, what did you just say? Processing in my mind what I just said.
Growling words
Hold up.
makes it hard for them to understand.
Yes.
hold up, wait a minute. Did Nox say anything? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
He just said that he was quite happy living in the forest of the university before he got dragged out.
Oh, see, that's what I mean, Fenrir. It's like, I got my, detective business. It's slowly starting up. May have taken a few hiccups, but, it's just casual talk. There's nothing to think too hard about.
He seems to start thinking really hard as we reach the gate.
Sorry, just writing stuff down.
Huh? Oh, so we didn't want to ask anyone around here?
Yeah, let's wait for the inn slash tavern to ask the questions.
Sure.
Just from Mason's experiences, people eyeing up people walking down the street can sometimes, things.
Oh shoot, where did I put them? Alright,
Fenrir thinks you could take him.
Okay.
Most definitely, but it's like you take the guards afterwards in the city.
Maybe. 75% chance. We might not be able to complete the mission afterwards, though.
Alright. As y'all reach the gates of the city, you're greeted by two guards to your left and the right, kind of just on either side of the gate. They don't really move when you approach, they kind of just stand there. Fenrir, roll me an investigation check. No, roll me perception.
Okay. Is smelling applicable?
No, this is sight.
Okay, because if it's... So it's not a person.
No.
Oh, cool. 24.
Alright, as you look at the guards, you notice that their weapons are a bit unfamiliar. They're a bit different, where they have these spears. And so, imagine a spear in your mind, where the blade and the pole meet. There is a copper gear attached to it on two sides of the spear. And then the blade itself is a bit longer than normal. You also notice that there is a slight glimmer to the blade itself. Something that you're quite not used to.
Okay.
Nox and Mason, what's your default perception?
Passive?
Yeah. Passive
18.
default.
18.
Oh no, it's just I'm sorry, I just haven't heard it used like that term. This is just me being dumb.
No, it's definitely supposed to be passive.
It's definitely supposed to be passive. I don't know why I said default.
It's descriptive, but that's...
no.
Yeah, passive is the legal term.
Yeah.
19.
What was it? 18? And yours again, Nox?
19. 19.
18.
19? Okay. You both notice it, but you don't really pay as much attention as Fenrir does.
I guess the trained weapons user that needs to learn how to use all weapons so that he can take and use them cares more.
Also, Nox uses magic as his primary form of
And
combat.
Mason's just a fencer more with his rapier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a generalist when it comes to weapons. So, okay. They got curious weapons. They seem vaguely magical-ish. Fenrir is not the first one to say hi to them.
Wait, yeah, Jason would tip his hat. There y'all.
The guard to the right says, "Good day."
And we
So
start
we were
walking
hoping-
in.
Yeah.
Guys go in.
No, Mason's gonna ask. So before we head on in, we're travelers. Do you have any like good inns or taverns that we should definitely pop into?
The large inn in the town square will do. It is across from the park.
All right. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Nox just like quietly inclines his head, but doesn't say anything during the.
How big are these walls? Like a story?
I would say 2 stories tall.
Okay.
About like 20 feet.
Maybe a
Doing that
little
right, Mike?
taller than 20 feet, but not by much.
20 feet's like, you walk up to it, it's almost 4 times your height. That's intimidating.
Hey, you gotta stop those, invading armies. You need as much height as you can, so intimidation's
you-
the factor.
Yeah. If you'd remember, though, Mason, you would know this. Nox would know this. Fender, you would have caught a glimpse of it. But the walls for the Kingdom of Ulv,
Well, way
their walls
higher.
are like over 100 foot tall.
I remember that. Like they had like anti-flying.
Yep, they had anti-climbing and anti-flying turrets.
God.
Oh, Air Cocker's coming through here.
Actually, though.
Yeah, really. Almost
Probably to deal
killed
with
you
those
all. Because you
Friggin'
guys
Yeah,
were
dude,
stubbornly
my
trying
character-
to climb the wall.
Like Eric Cochran does like does 2 things. He flies and he carries people.
Yeah.
He's just like
And technically speaking, dies young, since they actually have one of the shortest lifespans in D&D.
Yeah, he was only
Like,
about 3.
Mm-hmm.
I was generous. I think I was generous. I think he was 5.
He was a baby.
So yeah, we get through the door, no hassle at all, no passports, it's all
nothing.
good.
Guys just traveled right.
Darn fantasy settings not having passports or cell phones.
Entering through the gate, there is a clear shift from outside of the walls and inside of the walls. Outside the walls, you're walking on dirt streets, dirt roads, kind of just going through. Now that you've stepped into the walls, all the streets are like stone lined and they are completely neat and tidy. There's no people are going around, but they're dressed a little more nicely, a little more formally. They're not dressed in like rags and stuff. And people are just going about their business. There are several shops dotted around. Yeah.
So you wanted to ask at the inn?
Yes, just go to the inn, see if we could maybe get some rooms for the night, ask about some of the gossip, just casual stuff. I mean, if you guys need to do anything, it's all good with me. Though I do have to ask you, Nox, for something real quick.
As you say that, you just come to the edge of the park, and you see a nice welcoming sign saying, "Welcome to Copper Park."
Like the metal.
Does anyone get it?
No,
Nobody gets the
Fenrir's just
joke?
gonna be like, I don't think it's made of copper.
Copper rusts and turns greenish.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Sole reason why they named it Copper Park is because it turns green.
I only know this because I work with retail, so I've seen like a lot of green pennies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
In this country, we've got a hell of a lot of old churches that used to have copper domes, and now they're all like that weird green color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah,
Oh,
technically that's
yeah,
copper,
must have looked
then it
pretty
turned
impressive
green.
in its day.
Mm-hmm.
Now she moldy.
Yep. Anyways, yeah, just wanted to point out that detail as you guys are walking towards the inn. Go ahead.
Nox, I got a quick question for you.
Hmm.
Now, this is just a personal side thing. If you got your own thing you want to do here, you don't have to bother at all. It's just something that I noticed. You remember back when I got my new rapier from Lady Aerodeth from the sorceress, correct?
Yes, I recall.
Yeah. Well, I did a little bit of meditation around it. I didn't attune to it, but I found that it's kind of cursed, as he kind of just like whispers in, gets closer to Nox. It has a vengeful spirit within it. I can't connect to it. I can tell
Nox's
you.
eyes would definitely like widen slightly with intrigue in the kind of way of like, ooh, new shiny thing.
Now,
Shiny mustache.
no.
I want to say at this point in time, Fenrir doesn't realize that this conversation is happening. He's walking along and sharing awkward stares with random people.
Every now and again,
I just
like,
imagine
Nox will
Fenrir
just
walking and just staring at people as they walk.
every now and
by.
again, like Nox will just like grab his shoulder and just slightly redirect him.
Mason helping out too unintentionally.
I like it.
I get the feeling like Fenrir would be between us. We'd be talking across him, but he's completely oblivious.
I ended up
Yeah.
like kind of in front because he wanted to whisper into your ear, and so I'm just walking ahead
And
with
every now
my
and
own
again we
sense
just
of
stare
direction
him.
and of social norms.
Yeah. So I'll be honest, because of my occupation, I wasn't able to study as deeply into the arcane arts as I would have with Lady Aerodeth. I was hoping you could possibly either do more research or like find out more information about my blade, because I'll be honest, I don't get how come I was gifted with this. Now,
It did seem
you don't
rather
have to do
bizarre.
this. Pardon?
It did seem a strange choice, given that the weapon I was given, though even mine seems to have some strange darkness to it, but not sentient like yours.
Yes. So, if you could, I don't mind lending it to you so you can, like, do some research while I go around, poking around a bit. But do you mind at all?
Not at all. I would be interested to have a look at it.
Oh, okay. As he kind of unbuckles it, because he has his rapier on his, like, left, hip, but he has the new, like, magical rapier, the Rapier of Vengeance, on his back, so he kind of unclips it and gives it to Nox.
You look like one of those people that dual wields rapiers.
Stab, stab. Stab, stab, stab. I mean, come on, Elden Ring, dual wielding rapiers is pretty savage.
Yeah. I
Much
didn't
better
play
than any
Elden
stab.
Ring.
Oh, I got the collector's
I
edition.
will.
It's
I
so
will kill myself here, and I will say that I am not into Souls games.
We can't.
I feel
Sorry.
like this is a tangent.
I'm not. I'm more into like storyline based games.
Oh, so do you like
Hey,
God of
Elden
War?
Ring has a story.
It
If you look
has
hard enough.
somewhat of a story. It doesn't have much of a story. It's mostly kill things in front of you.
Actually, it's more things in front of you kill you, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. You're just kind of a passenger, like just
They're
going
also
across the
those
lands.
games are really good at world building through like items and stuff. So if you
Yeah,
want to
like
get
you
your
have to
story
read
after
all the
deep
details
diving,
on
then
everything.
that'll work. But if you want to be told a story,
Yeah, I'm more into
Yeah.
like the telling, being told the story, like
Final
Uncharted
Fantasy.
or like South Park.
But do you like God of
Different
War?
angle. Okay.
I
I
have
love
played
God.
God
I
of War,
haven't.
yes.
I
I
haven't
do enjoy
played
it.
Ragnarok yet, but I
I
played the
haven't
first one.
played any of the new ones. I've
I
played
was
Oh,
the
you
thinking
older
should.
that.
ones.
I've played
Oh, you
every God
should.
of
I
War
highly
except the
recommend
latest
it.
one.
But I can understand how come it may not click with some people. But if you like stories, I do think the newer games do better storytelling than the older games, personally.
Oh yeah, the studio is fantastic. I've played other games that they've made. They do fantastic
Yeah.
work. Anyways,
Uh,
getting back to this. Getting back on track now.
I will.
Uh,
I will
as you
say.
do that, you
To,
guys reach the doors to the inn.
all right. Thank you again, Knox. I do appreciate it. As much as I don't like to turn down a gift, it just doesn't make sense how come I was given an extra package with mine.
Yes, the passenger is intriguing. I'll look into
Yes.
it. It's not something you should tangle with if you're unsure.
No, no, I do appreciate it either way. As we'll probably head on in.
As you head in, you are greeted with a lovely tavern on the first floor. You can see at the long end of the right side of the room is a large staircase that ascends upwards. To your left, it's kind of there's more of a walled in section that is where the kitchen lies. Towards the back, kind of attached to the wall of that kitchen, is a long bar. It's a long bar, and dotted around the place are several tables going around. This tavern actually is kind of it's actually pretty light filled because basically on all three walls it is lined with like large windows that you can clearly see out of.
Do I see like a head manager or
But there's a
any
barkeep at
type
the
of
bar. There are waitresses going around collecting orders and giving food out and taking uh, plates that people have eaten, everything that's on it.
All right. Mason's gonna kind of like look to Fenrir. Hey, big buddy. So, I'll be honest. Don't mind the help if you want to like ask around a bit, but to be honest, you've done a lot of walking. I think you kind of deserve a treat. Just binge out, have a few good drinks. Get what I mean, friend?
no.
I'm saying, I'm saying, leave the talking to me if you want. You can help out and ask around, but you can just relax while we're here, okay? You get that?
Oh. Uh, I can't really relax in cities.
I get you. Just order a few. Or order some beers. Order like a few plates of like some of the best meats that they got. Like just relax.
Nox
I,
will
I, I,
step in slightly and say, "Would it help if we got you a room so you can get away from the people?"
Sure.
And Nox just sort of like nod and head off towards the bar.
As you begin to head towards the bar, a waitress carrying a tray with a couple plates of food and some glasses, she goes, "If you guys are gonna stay and eat, you can go to the bar, you can sit down at a table, we'll be with you shortly." And she kind of goes to another table and starts handing out the food that they ordered.
Nox just continues heading towards the bar.
Okay. As you get to the barkeep is a pretty muscular man, a little bit hairy, full beard, and he's just sitting there polishing glass. Other people are enjoying their drinks as they're kind of just sitting at this bar. What do you do?
Are these like fancy people at the bar?
Looking around the room, it is a good mix of people. There are definitely some people in here that are pretty fancy, but there are definitely people in here who are not like out on like in the shanty town, but definitely like right above that kind of status in here as well.
Okay. We're walking up next to people, and I can't help picture us as a druid and a guy who lives in the woods.
Wait, the druid does live in the woods.
I know, but like
Looks like
I'm
he
saying
lives in
druid
the
is a more
woods.
extreme version of that, like an actual druid, and then a guy who only just lives in the woods.
And a
So,
guy that
we're
basically
not
just has-
exactly the preen and proper cleanliest of folks.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine.
Closest would be Mason, but even then, he kind of looks a little dirtier than most people.
Wow, we've been on the road. It's
Yeah,
normal to
we
live.
do also literally smell like
Right.
people who've been on the road for a couple days.
Probably.
Hey, speak for yourself.
Sorry,
Yeah, Mason
magic
tries to
users
keep
and just
himself
making them
clean.
smell good. Prestidigitation perfume.
That refuses to
Actually,
share with anyone else.
Actually, could that even
Or
work?
he forces on everyone else.
Maybe it takes constant concentration to cover the smell.
I'm imagining
Lord.
that like Fenrir doesn't like it, but Nox makes him smell like flowers just because that way he doesn't have to deal with it.
What, instead
Oh,
of
it's a
wet dog?
duration of an hour, so yeah, you
Yeah,
could
it's actually
possibly
really
do-
easy to kind of keep up. But okay, we can actually start talking now that I painted a picture in my head that I thought was funny.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's fine. Oh, good.
So you approach the barkeep.
Do you have any rooms available?
Let me check the book. He walks over to the edge of the bar where there is a giant book on the bar table open, and he kind of skims through the pages that are open, and he's like, "Yes, I have 2 rooms available."
That'll do. How much?
How long?
Just the one night.
For one night, that'll be 2 silver pieces.
He just flips 3 across the bar and says, "Could we have some food as well?"
Yes, you may. If you want, sit down at a table or sit at the bar.
Is food allowed in the rooms, or do you prefer it down here?
We prefer it down here.
Very well. Nox would turn around and try to find a table a little away from too much of the hubbub, like if there's one in the corner or something.
So, as you look around, you see that people are pretty evenly scattered apart. There is one table that is a little more out of the way. However, it is seated right next to a giant window that looks out to the courtyard.
Okay, people watching, totally going there.
Okay,
There are
perfect.
people passing by. There aren't people necessarily watching in.
No.
No. Nox is going
He
to be
wants
people
to people
watching.
watch.
Oh, he wants.
I don't want to be a zoo attraction.
Yet.
That's
The
Fenrir's job.
I
Yes.
think Fenrir, like now that Mason's walking off to fulfill the mission, Fenrir is gonna just talk to Nox in Sylvan. I remember that right.
Yeah. That's
Sylvan.
our
Yeah, so
little
he'll just casually
secret
like have
language.
conversation in Sylvan.
Mason, do you know Sylvan?
No, he just knows thieves can't common and draconic.
So yeah, part of the point is that Mason isn't right next to us at the moment. He's going to be having his own conversations. So that's why Fenrir is comfortable just speaking Sylvan.
Yeah, it's
to
not
Nox.
to exclude you.
But no, I need to use the restroom, so just give me one moment.
Okay, so we'll start.
Perfect, so
We'll
we'll
go
conversation
sit next to the table and do our normal people watching, which is how we socialize.
Yeah, two introverts just watching the world go by.
Mason wants me to relax.
We don't need to be on alert at all times. The silver dagger aren't around every corner.
But people are.
People are not the enemy.
He does a little bit of thinking.
Steady. Mason is people. I am people.
You are persons. It's people that I'm scared about.
Nox just like looks at you, mouth slightly hanging open for a second, and then closes his
One
eyes. takes
person
a
can
deep
be very
breath.
smart. It's lots of people that are stupid.
Well, you're not on your own.
All right. Well, if my expertise is not needed, then I guess I can try to relax in our room.
I'm sure your instincts will kick in if they're needed.
We shouldn't stay here long, though. No
I
more
only
than a
wish to
day or
stay
two.
the night to get some rest before we travel on again. We never know what we will come across. Plus, if we travel through too quickly, I very much doubt we will gain any meaningful information.
Wise. He said wise, by the way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say things and then hear them. I'm like, I think that was gibberish. uh, what kind of food did they bring out?
So, as you guys are sitting there, a waitress actually comes around and she asks you what you want. She brings you a menu. There's basic meals on the thing. There's meat, there's potatoes, there's some greens. For one dish, for another, it's like something else. It's just basic food kind of thing. Not like basic meals that you would get pretty much anywhere.
Fenrir will ask for the gamiest thing you have.
She kind of nods her head and she's like, okay. And for you?
What would Nox have? Yeah, he would probably say that sounds pretty good. I'll have the same.
Alrighty. Any drinks
works for me.
Alrighty, and for you?
Any cup of wine if you have some.
We have several. Do you wish for a local or a non-local?
What do you recommend?
I recommend our local.
Very well.
All right. She writes it down. Mason, you approach after a while, and she goes, "Oh, are you with them?
Yes, I am.
Would you
Them.
also like anything to eat?"
Just kind of like puts up his hand. Nothing but a glass of water would be fine for me. Thank you.
No problem. And she goes off.
Mason's probably gonna also scan the room just to make sure there's nobody like to him would look like a bigger target, like nobility or like people like similar to him, like detectives, people of interest, basically.
You
So it's
look
like a double check.
around, and you actually notice someone.
Sarah.
What?
What?
I just said a random name.
I was just like,
Sarah.
wait, what?
I already gave you the alimony. Are you following me?
Oh my god.
Okay. You notice someone.
Yes.
Yes. Another thief. You notice though that he's dressed in some pretty fine clothes and talking to someone who looks pretty respected.
He's obviously found his target.
Alright, like they like in the middle of it, or is this kind of like a downtime? They're just kind of like mulling over their drinks.
They look to be in some pretty deep conversation.
Yeah, best not. Let's just keep that like a pin in that for now.
Can you
talk to
roll
them
me
like when-
perception really quickly?
For sure.
When you say keep a pin in that, Nox's mind goes like straight to voodoo.
That'd be a 17.
You notice as you begin to look away that he notices you in the corner of his eye. He doesn't react. He just simply notices you.
I kind of just give him like a half-sided smile, like I noticed you back, basically.
Oh, they're falling in love.
Fenrir is just like laying on his arms, looking out the window.
Such a dog.
As you scan the rest of the room, no one else of interest pops out to you. A couple minutes later, a waitress comes around and she goes, "A gentleman wished for me to pass this along to you." And she hands it over to Mason.
What's his number?
You know
Thank you
someone?
very much.
As you open it, it says the gentleman has boned. Pokers are ard. And you know that this is thieves' cant.
I think that it was just honest language, and he asked him if he wanted the bone.
Yep. And he's hard.
It's literally what it says. I have a dictionary up right in front of me.
Oh god.
I love it. You know, this is how you hide proper
Wink,
illegal
wink,
talk
nudge, nudge.
with other illegal talk.
Yeah, because Basically, only someone with a clean mind can decipher it.
Yes.
So we're doomed.
Mason, you recognize this as thieves' cant almost immediately, and you realize that it says that thieves are being arrested, and the guards are on alert.
Mason's going to kind of crumple it into his hands and kind of like do a smallish firebolt / prestidigitation and burn it. He doesn't mind taking the fire damage, but he just wants to kind of like just scoot the message away, like just take care of it.
I'm just gonna roll a d4 for that damage then. 1 point of fire damage to you.
Okie dokie. Can't have evidence.
Oh, that was
What did it say?
Mason kind of he kind of looks like he's thinking for seconds. Looks like some acquaintances I may have here are having a bit of issue. And like, at least Nox would probably get the context. It's like, I can't talk about this right here in the open right now.
Yeah, Nox would sort of nod.
After you say that, the waitress comes with all your food.
Fenrir just mentioned to Nox and Sylvan. Does he have friends everywhere?
And Nox just like casually replies back in common. It wouldn't surprise me.
Fenrir, she's like, the cook prepared you something a little more special. And she puts a plate in front of you with this large turkey or chicken breast right in front of you.
And Nox didn't get the same thing?
No, Nox got like a standard dish, but you asked for something very gamey. So
Yeah, but then Nox said, "Oh, I'll have the
That
same."
sounds good. I'll have the same.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Sorry, you got the same
No,
thing.
no. I thought
Favoritism.
I
No,
thought
let's go
they
with the
were like.
favoritism.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. Then
I
you
thought
get the
it was
same.
just funny because like we did both order vague things, so they could
I
have
kn-
just
yeah,
looked
yeah,
at me and said, "Oh yeah, this guy's
Maybe the
gonna
chef
appreciate it."
likes Fenrir.
Sorry, I didn't hear Nox. I didn't hear you say I'll get the same. I thought
Yeah,
you
like,
ordered.
so-
I heard you order first and then him, and I like squared it away in my head as to what you both got individually, and didn't hear
Okay.
you say.
I thought I
I'll get
was
the
being
same.
singled out, and I'm like,
So
"Oh my
Fenrir's
god, what do
got,
they know
like,
about
a
me?"
turkey breast, and Nox has got like a quail breast,
Yeah. Sure.
and he's just like looking at it, looking at Fenrir's, looking at it, and then like.
Actually, what I
looking
was
towards the
imagining was that
kitchen
they
to
decided
expect to
that
see some chef
Nox needed
drooling
cooked
over
food
Fenrir.
and I didn't.
Yes, let's poison our guests with a fucking raw chicken breast.
Oh
I am
yeah,
on the
everyone
verge of
loves that.
casting enlarge on this thing. And no,
It's really
he's even more
disappointing a
tempted
minute
to
later.
cast shrink on the one Fenrir's got.
Wait, is it legit a raw chicken breast? I just heard chicken breast.
No,
No,
he
they're
didn't finish
cooked.
describing.
They're cooked.
Okay.
But okay, so
So
now that
you
we're
both
both getting the same
get
thing.
large breasts. God damn it.
What kind of episode is this?
One where you need to eat food.
First we have that dodgy thieves can, and now we've got large breasts.
Unless
Yes,
this is
I
all
forgot
also-
he has thieves can't as I fucking look it up. You guys both get large chicken breasts. Cooked, obviously. With a side of some green beans and a freshly made roll to the side. Nox, she takes out a wine glass and puts it in front of you. Wine glasses are a bit different. It's not like what we normally think of, where it's like a long stem. It has a much shorter stem, almost like what are those beer glasses that have like that have a bit of a thicker stem? It's very short, and then it has the glass in it.
Like a brandy glass.
Yeah, kind of like that, but the stem is a bit thinner. It's a thinner stem.
I can picture it. I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, I okay. At least you get what I mean.
Yep.
And inside is like a 3/4 of full red wine.
Cool. You would know.
And then she places water in front of you and Mason. And
Did
she-
y'all order that?
Yes, I suppose.
What did you say? Sorry, Mason.
He asked, like, did y'all order that? Thought I heard you guys asked for something gamey.
Different places have different ideas, I suppose.
I just assumed that this was the best they had. Jim, do you know what gamey means?
Maybe.
There we go.
It I would say in terms of most gamey, it falls on a spectrum between fish and deer. Deer being the most gamey.
I wouldn't class fish as.
Yeah, that's why I would say that's at the not at all spectrum.
Usually, it's like anything that is generally more wild. So you've got rabbit, pheasant, venison.
Yeah, in that case, that's the best they got.
Cool.
It was
generally
this chicken
the
was free range.
Exactly. In the back with the swamp. I'm kidding. There's no swamp.
for
Oh,
taste
it's a feral
purposes,
chicken. Don't touch it.
Well, where I'm from, there is a swamp, so.
There is
Does
also
it have swamp
rooster
chickens?
is like really gamey chicken. Gamey meat
You-
tends
you
to
could also
be
consider it
chewy
kinda
and
more
like
That is
fatty.
true, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they got chicken, and that's the most gamey they's got.
Yeah. So okay, that's the fair assumption then. It wasn't like they
I'm still going with
they
it's a swamp
purposefully
chicken.
didn't serve us the deer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just-
Yeah.
Swamp chicken.
yeah. So nothing suspicious about it.
Mm-mm.
We'll eat.
Yeah.
Nom nom nom.
Mason's gonna keep an eye on his possible contact. See, like, if either he or the business noble are, when they're done with their conversation.
After a while of kind of side-eyeing them, they both leave together. And they both leave, and as you look out the window, kind of watching them, a carriage pulls up and they both get in.
The other two are just gonna hear Mason kind of mumble, "Damn it."
Problem.
Possibly lost a contact. I don't know where he's gonna go, and I don't want to bring too much attention to myself.
Well,
I could
if he
track
was
him.
paying attention, he would have heard us book a room here.
Some people like them, having outsiders that know like what I know, there's a possibility we may have a late night visitor.
Nox raises an eyebrow.
Does that mean a watch?
Just, I don't think we got enemies here, but just keep your eyes peeled.
So no
As,
relaxing. Okay.
as Mason's probably gonna finish his water and just kind of go to the bartender.
Bartender looks up at you and goes, "Need anything?"
Nah. Well, actually, maybe. Like, what do you recommend for like your best drink?
I would recommend the house ale.
All right, I'll take one of that. And if you got any good gossip that's been going around lately, any good news, bad news, just news in general.
Other than the king being sick, nothing really of note has happened. The lord over the city has gone away, and he is visiting. Um, he is visiting the capital. He was very close to the king, after all. Um, Other than that, nothing else has gone about. The guards are on pretty high alert. Don't know why.
Uh, Seen any strange fellas that's come by as of recently?
Nope, not a one.
Uh, Mason's probably going to feel like he's probably telling the truth, but as me as a player, can I do an insight just in case?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright.
I mean, Nox would be inciting
I'm
the hell out of him
I'm
if he was
surprised
listening.
that it wasn't like, oh yeah, those two over there.
He is telling the
23.
full-on truth.
Alright. I got a question for you before I forget. We just passed by this place called Copper Park. So I know copper can turn green. Is that the reason why it was referred to that? Is there something special about it, like a copper, like mine that was underneath it? Some funny.
Nope. Just named it because it was a stupid pun.
Ah. All right.
Headcanon. This guy personally named it.
Yeah. Secret, he's the town mayor.
No, he's actually the Pope in disguise.
He is the previous town mayor that now has to work in bars. Ever since the incident.
So yeah, he's probably just gonna do other like little bit of small talk, like little bits of fun trivia or things that he's like seen on the roads. And once he gets his drink, he'll just go back to the others at the table.
You get no useful information.
As
You
Mason
only
just
learn
sits
about their life and joys.
yeah, Mason's like, well,
You do learn
nothing from the bar.
that he
Good.
used to be part of the guard, but he is not anymore. And that is it.
Mason's probably not gonna press that one too much. That there can be bad blood with something like that. So
Well, especially since what you heard in the note that we have no idea.
yeah, which yeah, he's probably going to get to the others, tell them everything that he learns. Like, so far, not a lot of information, but like I said, I may have a contact coming in. So
Well, once we've eaten, we can head up. I will attempt to make contact with whatever's residing in the blade while we wait to see if we do get a visitor.
What should I do?
Sleep.
just
Correct.
relax, Brent. Just relax.
Get your
Sure.
strength up in case we do need it.
Oh yeah. From what my contact told me, things can go sour. Kind of at a things are kind of getting stressed around here. I'll just keep it like that.
Alright. If you're certain, then I'll just relax. You two can take the other room, I presume. protocol.
I would imagine that if we act too on edge, we would draw attention to ourselves.
Besides, I think he only really noticed me. Now, this is more like Mason just kind of just talking, so he doesn't really
yeah,
know
yeah.
if the other guy paid attention to you guys, but like, I could tell he noticed me, but I don't know if he noticed y'all.
Nox doesn't feel special anymore.
uh,
Well, Mason
Fenrir
doesn't know the
thinks
truth much.
Nox's comment was really weird. Of like, they'll notice us if we relax. Seems to like, huh?
But technically
If we don't
speaking,
relax.
Mason doesn't know the full truth of Nox just yet.
That's true.
Darn Nox, the random druid with nothing special going on.
Yeah, technically, Mason knows a little bit more about Fenrir than Nox, but Fenrir is a very simple man.
Nox is like super shady. Slim shady.
Nodding in agreement.
All right. Well, this was nice. I guess I'll head up to the room then.
Now, I can't remember if you confirmed. Did you take both rooms or just one?
Yes, both.
Both. Okay. So who's going with who?
Well, assuming that we want Fenrir to relax, and we are expecting a visitor, and I'm planning to do a favor for Mason with regards to the sword. If there is a twin room, I'd take that with Mason.
They're
and
both twin rooms. This is why I asked.
Yeah. So Fenrir brought up that he would be taking the room alone, and
Okay.
it didn't seem like anyone else.
Yeah,
was against that
basically,
concept.
Nox and Mason would go in one, and Fenrir would retire to the other one.
Yes. So
Hopefully relaxed.
there are two rooms. One is within the inner part of the building, so it's kind of set up to where there are rooms along the edge of the building, and then there are rooms in like the center bit of the building. So you guys have rooms that are across from each other, but one is inner and one is outer. who wants
Okay. Then Nox and Mason would take the outer.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Fenrir, as you enter the inner room, there is a small light that is glowing that illuminates the room. Other than that, you got your dual beds, you got normal, typical thing is you'll flop on the bed and just go sleep, I assume?
Okay. So Fenrir has been told to relax, and he's gonna trust
Oh god,
him.
he's gonna end up wolfing out.
Well, yeah, he's just gonna like turn the lights off, lock the door, and go full beast mode, and just kind of nap like that.
Let it all hang out.
House cleaning! Oh my god!
Who let the dog in here?
What the
Because that's
fuck
his
is
idea of
that?
relaxing.
No pets.
This was also why he was kind of weirded out when Nox was like, if we gotta relax or else they'll be suspicious of us. And he's like, I feel like I need to do the opposite.
Alright. Mason and Nox, your room is surprisingly basically the same, except in between both of your beds that are against the outer wall, there is a nice window.
Grand. So, Nox, what sort of time is it outside?
I would say it is getting to sundown at this point.
Okay. Nox would say to Mason, we probably have some time until our guest arrives, if he's coming. It
Yes.
might be a good time to see what we can do with this. And he would take the sword out from under his cloak. The rapier.
Yeah, Mason's also going to explain, since now that we're alone, what they the note that he got said was, and how there's a bit of a conflict going on.
I see, so we should keep away from the guards if we can, but not outright avoid them. That could be even more suspicious.
Yes. What I kind of find funny is usually, at least when it comes to other thieves, from what I've seen, they kind of more or less keep to themselves. So the fact that he contacted me, both out of courtesy, is very suspicious if you ask me. Because most people that deal with that kind of work, they don't care. 9 times out of 10.
Do you think he could be working for them?
Oh, I
Maybe
doubt
he's
it.
the reason they're getting caught.
Yeah, there's a possibility. There's always a possibility for everything. But let's call it a gut feeling. Nah.
Just be on
So
your
he was
guard.
talking to a noble, like some kind of higher aristocrat. Usually those people, there's like another angle. When it comes to the underground type of people, they're working 4 or 5 different angles at once. So sometimes you gotta keep your story straight constantly. The more angles you make, the harder the story is you have to keep. So if he's working for 3 different people, the harder the story is gonna keep. You follow me?
I do. Perhaps his contact with the noble is what gives him a degree of protection.
Possibly.
If
But
they're
either
important
way,
enough, the guards wouldn't harass them. They seem to end up with diplomatic immunity in such matters. So maybe he's sought to protect himself by getting close.
possibly. But there's also the case of if he knew what I knew and my capabilities, he could easily just go to a guard and point. And they can make up a stupid excuse and just put me in cuffs.
True, but then he would have to identify how he knew.
Yeah, you see what I mean? It's a very complicated issue that if he's gonna come, let's hope he does come tonight.
Is there anything you can put in the window to signal?
Would Mason know, like, from Thieves' Cant, any type of, like, signaling that he can have, like, a symbol he can, like,
Not
make?
really. You know that if I mean, you can put certain symbols like on the window, but you would not you wouldn't necessarily know if he'd notice it. And you wouldn't want to make it too large because then the guards would notice it and begin to
I'm
ask
imagining
questions.
What
that
about,
the
like, if they have a
official
way of a candle in the window or something?
He could.
I'm imagining that the official way to meet up with people is to write booty call on the window.
Yes, let's just open Grinder and swipe and start searching for people.
Yep.
It's
It's really
probably
a thieves' network.
if Mason knows
Ass
something, it's
bandits.
probably like the equivalence of like let's say 2 candles in the window, something that people can do, but it is like a tip off.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do any small little gesture. I'm just saying, if you do something too big, the guards might notice and start asking questions.
Yeah.
I would
Oh.
imagine though, it like something like putting a low burning candle in the window, and then at the point that it goes out, that's like the invitation.
Yeah.
I'd imagine
Either
they'd
way.
have ways.
Yeah. Mason will probably do like a small like candle by the window and just kind of keep off to the side to where he can see most of the street, but like they can't see him.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you want to go into the sword.
Well, Nox has a plan for dealing with this that he has learned from other things.
Let's hear it.
He's gonna take some salt. He's gonna lay the sword on the ground, and he's gonna put a circle of salt around it. And then he's gonna sit with his back to the candle so that his shadow touches the sword, crossing the line of salt.
Mm-hmm.
So he can connect to the sword, but the sword is contained.
Okay.
I've been thinking about this.
Oh no, thoughts. The most dangerous thing.
Basically, DM made it, I don't trust it. So yes, I'm learning.
But you both trust Fenrir. Oh.
We trust him to be undoubtedly and inescapably Fenrir.
Yay. And can you
Alrighty.
imagine if someone was faking what he faking?
So
We'll find
you-
out later that he's an absolute genius mastermind, and he's just like putting on an act.
Oh yeah, being
He was the-
socially inept was all a part of my cover.
Like when I played a game with someone who played at a Kenku that was like really comical and daft, and just repeated words every now and again, and then they summoned. I can't remember what they did. They summoned a spectral version of themselves, and they were just like some total mastermind.
He's secretly the Pope.
There was
Don't.
one character that had the power to bring his drawings to life, and that was like his special power that made him decent at fighting and have utility and stuff. For 20 years, he faked being a bad artist.
you should
Okay,
probably
we can
light
move on.
some memories of another character from an old friend of mine that I don't think you guys want to be exposed to, but it would be very funny if you were.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I'll tell you about it after the stream, but I don't think I'm gonna do that to you. This is not gonna be a good time.
Okay.
So you enter the sword, and as you enter the world around you is a bit different this time as you enter it. You're as if you are standing on the sword itself. You're standing as if you're on the blade. Everything around you is all murky and smoke covered.
Is the
Like on
blade
the size
bigger
of an
than
ant or
normal?
something.
I'm sorry?
Is the
Like on
blade
the size
bigger
of
than
an
normal?
ant or something.
Yeah. Nox is like the size of an ant. This blade
Okay.
is like a mile in width.
Okay, I was just imagining that it was a normal sized sword and he
No.
was like fumbling to stand on it and everything else was pitch darkness.
No.
Like
From the sword comes up this like spectral shadow that like looks to be attached to it. And as it comes up, it goes, I must kill them. Will you help
Nice
me
to
kill
see
them?
Kill who?
Help me kill them.
Who?
All of them.
Well, that's just not constructive.
Anyone and everyone. I can't read your thoughts. Why can't I read your thoughts? Who do you wish to kill? Let me kill them. Let me kill them.
Well, now.
this sword sounds familiar. Only from a long, long time ago.
So, Nox would. I mean, for one, he would try to flex his ability ever so slightly to see if he could conjure, like, visions from his mind or things like that out to make, like, apparitions in front of him to show this spirit things. And he would start by showing an image of, like, Lord Petdan, someone who he clearly knows what they look like.
He looks upon the shadow. You can't see any sort of expression. It's simply like a shadow, like cloaked figure. It is like almost as tall as you are. And it looks to the image that you've produced out of the smoke. And it goes, interesting.
So
Why did
this
you
is
not kill
war.
him? Why not kill him? You go back and kill him. Kill him with me. Let the blood run down my blade.
Did we not
Well,
kill
now,
him?
if you
I thought
could
we
help
did.
me kill him, you would certainly be of use to us.
Yes. Yes.
But understand this. If you are to be of use to us, you must control your thirst. You will get your chance to kill, and you will be sated with many. However, you cannot kill everyone, but I assure you, those you do come up against will be worthy of your time.
No, I must kill everyone. Kill everything. Let everyone die. Everyone wronged me. Everyone dies.
Who wronged you?
Everyone.
Well, I didn't,
was pretty
so
clear.
you're already wrong.
You were born on this blasted place. You deserve death.
Well, you're going nowhere fast, are you?
What the fuck was I given?
You were given a friend. They must be held like hamburger.
I don't know what I was expecting. It was not that.
I don't know either.
Like the hell?
Okay.
Oh, I've lost my train of thought.
Oh no, a
Um,
distraction.
Okay. All I can think of is hamburger. You do understand that if you wish to kill everyone, you will kill no one. At least by our method. You
Not
can
if I
make a
take you over.
start.
Not if I latch on, and you see a wave of shadow start to approach you.
Nox would like snap his fingers and put the salt circle that is around the actual sword into a visual appearance in this realm.
And you see that the salt circle is not around him, but instead around you. And as the
Still
wave
perception.
comes, it crashes on, but you feel nothing. As the salt circle basically bubbles around you.
You were saying.
Not everyone will be covered in salt. Not everyone will be encased. I will take them over. I will murder everyone.
If you will not behave yourself, I will see to it that you are buried in salt.
Do that. I've overcome worse.
I don't know. You don't seem to be doing too well. You have a stubborn owner.
He disappears.
Wish.
Nox would look around a little at the giant blade landscape to see if there's any details upon the blade and its detail, like its markings, etchings, anything like that, that would have been too small to see on the real
So
size
you
blade.
actually do see something in that this blade is stained with blood almost entirely. Something that you wouldn't necessarily notice because it looks to be the entirety of the blade is stained in blood. In one solid color.
don't have prestidigitation. Not that I think it would do anything, but do I have anything useful? So the thing's vanished.
Mm-hmm.
I might just really poke the bear here.
He's happy.
Do it.
Nox will crouch down within his circle. And he will trigger primal savagery, growing his claws.
Mhm.
And he will just run one claw along the surface at his
As you
feet.
do so, no mark is formed.
Fair enough. It is acid damage for what it's worth, but I'm guessing this is a pretty powerful thing.
Or you can't affect the real blade from in the mental space.
Yeah, he's just trying to gauge this thing's reaction, if it's precious about the blade itself, or if it sees it as a prison, or... Ironically, given that he's gone down the whole pain in the ass route, I don't have any radiant shit. Oh well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm so tempted to pull the Hellfire Longbow and see if it just sends this guy's spirit to the sticks. Okay, Nox would just withdraw from it.
As you exit out of it, you notice that as you leave, the salt circle breaks.
Awkward. But it did its job.
Has Mason seen anything while the ritual's been going on?
No. You see Nox
You'd have
sitting on the
just-
floor.
Mm.
That's it. I mean, you notice things about Nox when he enters that it's like his eyes are rolled to like the back of his head. He has a more dark expression on his face. As he does so, but there's like no response for him. He's not moving. He's kind of just sat down in sort of like a meditative position.
Say maybe his shadow goes unnaturally dark.
Yeah, it goes, instead of like a normal like kind of shadow shade, it turns into like an inky black.
Mason just thinks to himself, don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
As well as the fact, as you see him enter, you notice that the inky blackness isn't just like an immediate effect. It like slowly goes throughout the field of the shadow, going from Nox to the blade itself, like slowly going towards it. And as he exits, you see the same thing, but it going back towards Nox.
Yep, don't ask questions you don't
I
want
was like,
the
well,
answer.
the other one's a werewolf. Maybe this guy's a shadow.
He's
Shade.
a shadow druid. He is effectively a shadow druid, actually.
Kind of.
Anyway,
Well,
shadow
your
and
abilities
fire.
are
He's
more
like
in
a
line
Balrog.
with the
druid.
stone, in not really with shadows.
Yeah, true.
It's
So he
just the
would-
form of how it happens. It looks more shadow.
He would open his eyes and sort of frown at the blade. And I'm guessing, like, in this view, the blade looks clean.
It just looks like one solid color.
Which is...
What I mean by it's I mean,
You saw,
if you took
like you
out
saw-
like a knife, like a freshly clean knife, like a dagger, and you put it next to it, you can clearly see that it's off color.
Oh,
But if you're
okay.
looking at it at itself, you just see a
It still
blade.
just looks... Okay, fair enough. But when I was stood upon it, it was obviously bloodstained.
Yeah, you can see more detail as you're much closer to it. You would
Like,
definitely tell
oh,
that it was definitely more bloodstained.
the deeper ridges didn't get hit quite as much at a microscopic level.
Nox would gesture sort of loosely towards the blade, like just with his hand, while looking directly at Mason, and just say, "Whatever you do not attune to that blade until its spirit has been broken."
What'd you see?
In its world, the blade is stained red with blood, and it is hungry for death. Indiscriminate death. It could be very useful against certain entities, but it, for the moment, just wishes to kill everything. I tried to bargain with it, saying that the targets we would end up slaying would be worthy and would be a good adversary. But he's all or nothing. But it may break in time. But it's capable of possession. It was only due to my preparations that it didn't attack me.
Yeah. My
So
mind's has always been able to clear that out, but why would I be given this blade?
these Eternals have their ways, and they usually know what they're doing. But it can take us, while they may think that it's something that we could quickly figure out, our lifespans are somewhat shorter.
Yeah.
So I would err patience, and each time we rest somewhere secure, I will endeavor to break its spirit.
Maybe they also wanted me to help lay the spirit's woes to rest.
Potentially. If there's any way you feel you can help, I may be able to take you in with me sometime. Though we've already seen that's no simple task in itself.
Yeah, no. But I can tell you're a lot more capable with this than me, since you literally threw me out of the exorcism that one time.
This is my domain. However, it may be worth you putting your investigative skills to the test, and find out if there is any lore anywhere of a blade with the spirit of the betrayed within it.
Oh. Well, as much as I'd love to stay in this town longer, we can't stay too much long. So, probably the next stop we hit up, I'm gonna have to hit up a library.
I very much doubt it's something that we will find in a town this size. Besides, it was a
Yeah.
long way from here that we were gifted the blade.
Yes. That's one thing I've known when it comes to being an investigator. Leads and information can be all around you, sometimes right underneath your nose.
The university library is probably a good place, but right now we don't know that it can be trusted.
Yeah. Either way, thank you again for helping me. You should get some rest. I'm gonna keep lookout in case possible contact comes a knocking.
Very well. If you wish to get some rest, just wake me. I don't sleep all that much.
I'm focused like this. Neither do I.
Couple of insomniacs.
Well, when you're investigating,
More like this is. Oh God.
I was just gonna say, like, when you're an investigator that deals with spirits that could wake you up in the middle of the night, sleep can sometimes be an appreciative gift. This is probably the most Mason slept in a long time.
There was a
Whereas Nox
snore
is
from
one of those
across the
spirits in
hallway.
the middle of the night that feeds on your dreams.
Love it.
That could help. Nos just passively eating away at Mason's dreams.
I don't know. Unless he's particularly ambitious, it wouldn't really sate him. Like, he would. Like, with Keck, he had such ambition that it was enough to easily sate him by feeding on a, like, rare basis.
Yeah.
But for most people,
You're-
he would have to
so-
spur them into full-blown nightmares in order to feed.
I would say that you, at this point, you've gained a little more control over your feeding and the ability to make people's dreams turn into nightmares to a point where you are able to just passively feed off of Mason or Fenrir's dreams without turning them into nightmares, whilst
Or harming them.
mostly somewhat like halfway satisfying yourself.
Yeah.
So
Not
you're,
getting a full fix, but able to keep my sanity.
yes, exactly.
Have I actually discussed with
Nope.
Mason, obviously not character-wise, but player-wise, the fact that Nox is a dream dampier?
No.
I do.
Surprise!
Don't
Hey.
worry, it's fine. You joined a totally normal group.
Yeah, you joined a
gotta
totally
admit,
normal group. Just not.
It's better than a blood dampier, but yeah.
Eat your dreams and.
Okay,
I'm
how is
gonna
it the
mind munch you.
One of us can eat
How
the
is it the
mind, and the other can eat the
detective-
rest.
how is it the detective that talks to spirits feels like the most normal, mundane compared to the whole group so far?
That feels on par for D&D.
That feels pretty on par for this group, to be fair.
In all fairness, I'm generally used to having the most ridiculous, elaborate character, so I come up with some pretty off-the-wall ideas.
I love it. Yeah. Anyways.
And of course, it helped that I'd said to DM, yeah, you can do what you want with my backstory.
Yeah.
And he was like, little did you realize.
Oh, I got so excited.
I was so excited.
I pitched the premise of everything I wanted the character to be, and then I said, however, the backstory's all you.
Love it. Loved it. Every moment. Anyways, going back to there. So you go to bed. Mason, you are left. Do you turn out the candle?
To a point, like, if it's, like, getting close to 3-4 o'clock and nothing ever comes by, then yes, but he's just gonna keep watch.
So you turn out the candle, and as the smoke forms, you see there's a lot more smoke forming than normal. As the smoke forms and begins to take shape of a face. And they go, it took you long enough.
You took my idea and ran with it. Love it.
Sorry. My methods of communication back in my hometown's a bit different.
Yes, well, I haven't used this in a while. Just be warned, the guards are on high alert. A thief has been caught.
Much appreciate the tip, but I'm kind of more, as you can tell, more of a wanderer, so what's the deal?
More so trying not to stir up more drama than there already is for us.
Drama? Us?
As long as I can get someone to not piss off the guards more, we can try to get the guards to lower their guard little by little. Adding a thief to the village, to this town, who is unaware of anything going on, is a death sentence.
Well, you see, I may know a bit of the tricks of the trade. I'm actually further down south. A bit of an investigator. Just here looking for information.
Nothing to
Different
investigate
leads.
here. This town is as quiet as ever. Now that the
Not the
Lord
town.
is gone, we're all
Hmm?
safer.
So bad about this lord.
He's ruthless about the law.
I thought he was ill. I didn't think he was dead.
The
No,
mayor
the
is not the
king, though.
king.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
King's the
He's
one
the
that's
lord
killed.
of the city. He basically owns the land underneath that the city is built on.
Yep.
Was it always like this, or was it because of that thief that got caught?
Sorry. No, the guards are usually on high alert, but not as high as they are right now. Brazing out magical weapons and such. They only do
Yeah, it's
that
called-
if someone threatens the Lord's life.
Well, that's interesting.
Yes. Anyways, just steer clear of them. Don't do anything rash. And don't try to steal anything.
Oh god.
Like I said, I'm only here to look for different leads on a interesting fellow.
Oh, how kind of interesting.
Is Nox still asleep?
Nox, are you still asleep?
I'm happy to roll for it.
How long do you
I
sleep
mean,
for?
personal question. I just said you went to sleep. You didn't have to actually go to sleep.
I mean, I would say that Nox is resting in the probably kind of friggin' vampire way of like laid on his back, not quite arms across his chest, but eyes closed. But he literally sleeps like the dead.
Yeah.
Given that he doesn't need to breathe and whatnot. So yeah, I would say he looks asleep, but he is awake. But he doesn't want to encroach. And if they're speaking in a language he understands.
For
but
right
he's-
now, they've been speaking in common the whole time.
Okay, so
Okay.
he'd understand it, but he would be listening but not wanting to interrupt in case the guy like disappears.
So also because player brain is dumb, the person that we're looking, I'm saying like me, player being dumb. So the person that we're looking for, that was the person related to the Bone Devil, was it? Oh god, sorry.
It was the
Yeah,
5.
And we have no information other than they're probably powerful and unlikely to be
Yes.
just human.
So they are the 5 under Lord Petdan. They are his 5 main henchmen that go about and do his bidding.
Okay. Like I said, player just being dumb right now, so my bad.
Yeah, we're just looking for someone who's vaguely powerful and or doing
Evil.
big bad things. We have
So,
no
yeah,
other
Arrived and things have suddenly started to go wrong once they've arrived.
Yeah, Mason would basically be trying to be like describing that as like he's talking, like, you know, this is somebody that we're just trying to look for. The directions that he said that he was going was possibly down this way, if not towards the college.
No one like that here. At least not in this city. I don't travel outside the city. It's kinda bad if you do. Although you look powerful enough that nothing would really mess with you.
Well, I don't like messing with other people. I just like to let the
I wasn't talking people. I was talking monsters.
The same difference for me. Either way, don't worry. If there's no tips down here in the city, we'll be out of your hair.
And he goes away.
As Jason just kind of like sighs as he goes over to Knox and just sees like if he's like awake or asleep.
One thing I would say is with Nox listening to that and focusing purely on the conversation and nothing visual or anything, can I insight that?
Yeah. You want to insight him on what?
Him saying that there is nothing of interest here whatsoever and that we should just move on.
Okay. Just so that I know.
25.
He's hiding something.
Shock.
I am shook.
Shooketh.
Big gasp.
So as
Yeah, no, I was gonna. I had that on my mind too. It's just my brain's just kind of kerfuffled. Like I just didn't think about it. So thank
It's
you.
one of
on
those
that one,
hours.
that's all right. So I would say if Mason sort of comes over and sort of leans over Nox in the dark just to see if he's awake, Nox would open his eyes, but for the briefest moment before the crystal's effects kick in, you would see yellow glowing eyes before it sort of fades out and covers it over.
Roll for horror.
Yeah.
Roll for fear.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll. I'm gonna roll just straight up d20. 16.
You are scared.
Shooketh.
Shugeth.
Mason takes a few steps back and hands near rapier, but he's not grabbing it yet.
Has Nox, have you taken off your crystal in front of him? I don't think you have.
No, I think Fenrir has seen me, but I don't
Fenrir
believe
has,
Mason
but I don't
has.
believe Mason has.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, because when Fenrir first met me, I think
It was
because we'd
pretty
fallen down
normal,
in pet
your appearance.
yeah.
So you
And
didn't disguise
wasn't-
yourself.
Yeah, he wasn't phased by it in the Uncharted lands. But ever since we've been traveling outside of that, I've been sort of covered, and therefore Mason hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
By sort of letting little things slip through here and there.
Mason's gonna be like, Knox?
Interesting conversation.
So were you pretending to be asleep, or...
I've been awake for some time. He's hiding something. But I presume you knew that.
Well, I'll say with since I didn't roll anything, I will say technically his passive insight is 15. Would he have guessed something?
You would have suspected something, but you wouldn't have known definitively.
I had a feeling in my guts, but I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna talk to y'all to see whether we should investigate. Kind of a... Can't jump to anything without talking to y'all first.
When he stated that there was nothing of interest in this town and that we should just move on, that's when I got the impression he was lying. The rest seemed genuine enough. The truth about another thief coming in and drawing unwanted attention, he definitely wants to keep a low profile, but do you honestly believe that a thief would be in a town with nothing of interest?
Well, to be honest, before I was living with Lady Aerodeth, just living on the streets a bit, when you get to talk to people, everybody has an angle. Everybody has some type of plan they got. Nobody just goes in So, if a thief's coming into a town, you have something in mind.
And how often do your kind cross paths with each other?
The way he says
Very,
kind catches you off guard with the way that you just saw him.
um, very rarely. Usually, it's kind of I wouldn't say a code of honor, but a code of respect, neutrality, not to fuck with other people's business.
So, do you not think it strange that not only have you encountered one, but he is aware of another one who has been caught? That means 3 in one town in a short space of time. There is
Yeah,
definitely something going on here.
especially since the Lord is gone too.
I feel we may be here for a little while longer.
Yeah. So, hopefully we don't see any silver daggers starting to spread more. And if there's guards already starting to increase with their, paranoia, you may start adding in some extra protection.
Well, in all fairness, a silver dagger often looks like a thief. They could work as quite an opportune distraction.
True. Actually, I don't even think Mason technically ever met a silver dagger face to face yet, besides the ruse. So he'd kind of like have to take Knox's word on that one. Well, either way, looks like we're gonna be staying here longer. Hopefully, Fenrir's gonna be okay for a few more extra days.
Either that, or we do move on and we just make sure to pass back this way when they're not expecting us to be back. They may have lowered their guard by then with nothing going on.
Well, I gotta be honest here, Knox. I'm the newest member of your group, and while I like to talk to people here and there, I'd consider you and Fenrir the veterans of the group. So whatever play you guys want to do, I'll be with you guys full force.
I haven't entirely ruled out that your thief friend isn't one we're looking for. He's well informed, he's well implanted, and he's clearly powerful.
Out of character, we've seen that once before.
Mason, whilst Knox might be getting the impression that the ability that he just performed to speak with you through the smoke might be difficult, you know, as a thief, it is actually not hard to do as long as you have a candle yourself, some salt, and the image of who you want to speak to. You know, it's a pretty basic ritual that you can perform.
When you say image, I take it you mean in your head.
Yes.
He's not been like paparazziing us.
No.
Oh, no.
Like an image of the person in your head that you want to speak to.
Okay.
Which Mason would explain, but kind of also be like, even though this is kind of a more basic idea, way of communication, it kind of shows a sense of professionalism at the same time.
It was
Whoever
discreet.
this guy is, they know what they're doing. He was able to talk to a noble and not cause an alarm, able to point me out, send me a note, and communicate to me. So, yeah. This guy,
That was what I was alluding to about his power. Not
Yeah.
necessarily that physical.
or magical.
But he's
got a
very
lot
good
of
at
connect-
manipulating people.
Yes. I'll be honest here. Um, we could probably learn a lot if we stay at least another 2-3 days. We just gotta keep our heads low.
I wonder if there are any other taverns in the area. Did we see any on our way through, other than the one we're staying in?
You would have saw like a bar, not really like an inn tavern, but you would have seen like a bar in the slums.
Or any like
Other
hostel
than that,
things?
you kind of went straight up the paths. You wouldn't have seen any in the inner city. But you did see more of like a bar within the slums. At
All
least
right.
a
Well,
sign for one.
just for transparency, Nox's thought is to stay in a different place each night.
Uh, Mason would also say, since both my occupation and some of the extra skills I've learned, I kind of know how to move around and stay in different locations. We don't always have to stay at an inn. It's just we have to be kind of more sleeping in a few alleys here and there, uh, abandoned house. It's kind of like we just gotta keep bouncing around.
I'm content with that, and I dare say Fenrir would also be. I was even thinking that maybe tomorrow night we stay outside of the town and then come back in
Oh yeah,
to let them
because
see us leave.
yes. But I will tell you this: with how professional this guy is, we're gonna get caught. There's no two ways about it.
As long as the guards don't catch us.
That's all that
If we-
matters.
If we are efficient and the guards catch on to us, we know full well he is the one throwing us. Can't say under the bus, that doesn't exist.
Under the carriage.
Under the carriage, yes. Throwing us afore the horses.
That works too.
But yeah, that basic thing. Like, it would clear up his intentions, because if we are being careful, the only reason he would have to point us out to guards or to draw attention to us is if he is hiding something of significant value that he wishes to keep to himself. Otherwise, he would allow us to go about our business as long as we didn't draw attention.
Yes. It's not like he needs us out immediately, it's just keep our heads down.
He did ask how long we were staying.
Yeah, but sometimes things change.
Things
So.
have changed. Very
Besides, the guy with that has that many connections, he may not know exactly what we need, but he may know the person who does know what we need, where they're at.
I certainly do not wish to make an enemy of him unnecessarily.
No, more like just trying to get an ally with a guy that has a lot of connections, is what I'm getting at.
I
If
agree.
possible.
I'm sure it would always be beneficial to tap into that network.
Yeah. So tomorrow, we're gonna probably leave the city, but I'm also gonna see if there's a library nearby to take care of, as he kind of like points to the sheath scabbard of the blade. As we'll take a short afternoon break to see if I could find anything.
If we do visit a library, Knox would try and figure out if it would be possible to get in after hours unnoticed, rather than publicly be seen scouting around it. Book heist. Tessa would be so proud.
Have the most ancient of tomes.
Alrighty.
Level
And
9 scroll.
With that, I think that's a good place to stop for tonight. Bit of mystery, bit of prelude,
Lots
bit
of
of
mystery.
deception.
I like it.
If we're lucky, no one will see Fenrir.
Sorry, buddy.
Alrighty. So we will see you all next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Chill.
Later.